Welcome to another Black Phoenix presentation. Here's your host, Khalil Shabazz.
Hey guys, Khalil Shabazz, founder and chief instructor of Black Phoenix Jeet Kune located here in Atlanta, Georgia. I have an online training application and I've spoken to a lot of people who are interested in it, but I get a lot of pushback and I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of concerns, which are understandable, about training via video. Now, here's the interesting thing. People say, well, you can't really learn by watching video. You can't really train that way. You need a partner. You need to touch hands. You need someone to help you adapt to the energy. Okay. While that is true, that does not negate the value in studying videotape, right? Football teams study videotape. Basketball teams study videotape. Boxers study videotape of their, not only of their opponents, but also of their heroes. Now, if you can't learn from watching videotape, then no one should be watching Muhammad Ali right now. No one should be watching Mike Tyson. I mean, why are you watching these guys? You can't learn anything from videotape. See how foolish that sounds, right? The reality is we learn through several different mediums, right? Now, of course, you have some people who learn by hearing. You have some people who learn by doing. You have other people, whereas they have to see it being done and then they'll actually pick up on it. And then, of course, you have people who actually have to touch hands and actually, go through the motions themselves. But that's just the thing, right? I mean, think about why do you not let your children listen to certain music, right? Because you don't want them to learn certain behaviors, right? This is why you would have them, this is why you pick and choose what they watch, because you can learn by watching video. It's, it's kind of interesting. It goes back to like the early 90s when people say that you can't earn a degree by attending online courses. This is a lot of old school thinking, right? And the new school has proven that that is totally fallacious. It's just ridiculous. Now, here's the reality of it. This is how you learn by watching videotape. Number one, you have to train by yourself, right? Everyone that you know will not be ready or willing to train when you are, right? That's what this is for, right? The mukchang. That's what this is for, right? This is a training partner who is ready to train whenever you are ready to train, right? That's what this is for, right? Look, boxers have one too. This is their version, right? The heavy bag. That's what that is, right? Everyone has to do something on their own. You have to. You can't say, I don't have a training partner and use that as an excuse not to train. It's ridiculous, right? Let's say if you don't train at all, right? And then you find someone who is ready and willing to train, what do you train on, right? You have no frame of reference. Like, okay, hey, there's this. See, when you watch video and you read books and you study other training materials, training materials other than listening to an instructor in person or working with another body, you develop your questions better, right? When you're reading some material, and then when you come across someone who has read that material, or someone who is better than you, or someone who is more enlightened or more informed than you, you can actually have a cogent question to ask them. Right? Now you have an actual question that you can propose, right? You have to, studying alone helps you formulate your questions, right? You have to train by yourself. You have to read material. You have to try to digest it on your own. So when you do have someone to train with, you can say, hey, this is something that I want to work on. I've been doing the footwork portion on my own. That's what shadow boxing is. Right? Shadow boxing, Carenza, these are things that you do on your own when you are alone. And video, books, the written word, pictures, images, all of this stuff gives you a frame of reference to study. It gives you something that will help you develop context. So when you do when you are in the presence of an instructor, when you do meet someone who is more informed than you, you can actually put together a reasonable question. You can say, look, I've been reading such and such, and here's a concept or a philosophy that I don't quite grasp. Can you explain XYZ 1, 2, 3? And look, people such as myself, we appreciate good questions. It's like, wow, that's a great question, right? So you aren't really that far behind when you're reading or when you're studying videotape. Right? There's a lot that you can accomplish on your own by watching video. There's a lot that you can accomplish on your own, but people use it as an excuse to not train at all. No instructor worth their salt will tell you that you can't learn anything via video. That's just asinine, right? Look, YouTube is the second largest search engine next to Google. Right? What are people going to YouTube for? Right? Look, I know I've gone to YouTube hundreds of times, maybe even thousands, right? To try to pick up on something new. Look, my wife and I, we just, we have a baby girl. We have a baby, she's almost 2. And there are tons of questions that we have that we would just go to YouTube to see how to do XYZ, how to do 1, 2, 3. We would go and, we're looking for a baby monitor. Go to YouTube, see what's out there. You buy the baby monitor. How in the hell do I hook this up? The instructions aren't clear. Let me see what people are doing on YouTube, right? Let me see what people said. Let me see what suggestions are out there. It's simply another avenue of information. Don't poo-poo video. Don't poo-poo books. Because if you poo-poo one, then you're clearly poo-pooing the other. Right? You have to study a variety of mediums. You have to, in order to get good. You have to. And you have to have something that you're working on. And you can't rely on other people to set your training schedule. You can't rely on other people to set your training schedule. Right? You have to be able, when you want to train, when you need to train, you need to get it in. Right? And you need to find a way to make it work, right? You have to. Look, if you're watching this and you haven't already, sign up for my free training, my training university, my free training academy, and learn it. I guarantee you there is something that I cover that you've never heard before. I guarantee you, And look, and if not, what do you have to lose, right? It's free, right? But this is just some things that you have to do, right? You have to train on your own. You have to spend some time with yourself. You have to develop on your own. You have to develop to a certain point. So whereas when you do meet someone who is ready and willing and able to train, you can actually get something done, right? You can go all over all of the basics on your own. That's kind of the whole idea. That's the reason you want to start training on your own, so that you can ask yourself these questions. You can ferret out some things, and you can clear up some confusion that you have about, a variety of topics, right? Because the other person, they're on, you don't want to waste people's time. You have someone say, yeah, let's get together. Let's hang out in the backyard. Let's go to the gym. Let's go over here and let's get some work done. Let's go and train. Let's learn this new skill. Well, you have to have some sort of an agenda, right? You have to have an idea of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, right? You have to know where you're going and what it is you're trying to get done. And unless you watch video, or unless you read a book, unless you study something, you will have no frame of reference, right? So don't wait on, finding a school that you love in order to begin training. You'll never get it done, right? Or that will greatly minimize how much you actually get done, because you're waiting for the perfect scenario to get started. And we all know the perfect scenario never comes about. It never does, right? So you have to work with what you got. You have to work with what you got. right? Work with what you got and get done what you can, right? And prepare yourself as much as you can on your own, you know? So watch video, buy and read books, you know, and of course, you want in-person training, right? But the reality is it may not be available to everyone at all times. Hell, it may not even be affordable to you, right? You have instructors that will charge north of $200 a month, you know, and you know, unless you're like training to be a fighter or something like that, you just want to learn how to protect yourself. You know, you may or may not have that kind of cash, you know, so you have to do something. You have to do something, right? Not having an instructor that works on your time, that's available on your time, not having an instructor that's within your budget, none of that stuff is an excuse for you to not train. It's not an excuse for you to not train, right? So studying video is the next best thing, you know, add some supplemental reading and study all you can, so that again, when you meet someone such as myself, you have actual questions that you can ask and you have actual techniques that you want to actually work on. And that's how you make progress. That's how you make progress, right? You don't want to squander time when you meet someone and you have no frame of reference, you have no good questions to ask. You know, you're starting from less than zero, as they say. You know, that's not the way to get it done. You know, so I hope I planted a couple of seeds. I hope I gave you something that you can think about. Sign up for the free training course on the blackphoenixmaf.com website. Start learning, start developing, start growing, so that when you actually do get here, or whenever you end up wherever you go, you know, you'll have some information under your belt. That's all I want to drop on you. I just want to, drop a quick word on that, because a lot of people have been asking me and letting me know that they're concerned that they don't think they can get good by watching video. But look, video, you can always rewind. You can just put it on a loop, you know, and you can slow it down. You can really focus on the techniques, you know, and you can play it over and over and over again. So do what you can with what you got, and get as far as you can with what you got. And so when you meet someone in person, that personal meeting, that in-person meeting, will be that much more productive. All right. So I just want to drop that on you. I hope that helps. I hope that dropped a few jewels on you. You know, sign up for the free training course and go through the videos. You'll begin to learn a lot on your own, and just, you know, start getting involved. You know, that's how we do it. One step at a time, one rep at a time. All right. Look, this is Khalil Shabazz. I'm signing out. Black Phoenix Jeet Kune. I'll see you in class. Peace.